Hi gorgeous! Happy Frugal Friday to you. If you're new to the channel, first I'd like to say welcome to you. I'm so happy you're here. I make videos like this every Friday focusing on drugstore products, so please subscribe to be notified of new videos in the future. Today we're focusing on drugstore stick foundations, and I'm testing out 4 of them for you in today's video. These are from Maybelline, Revlon, NYX, and NYC. I'll be showing you an up-close application demo with each of these, giving you my first impressions, wearing them throughout the day, and then showing you what they look like at the end of an 8-hour wear day. And then I'll let you know, are they worth getting or not? Okay, so if you caught Monday's video where I compared the Anastasia stick foundation with the Hourglass one, I got a lot of you saying that you shouldn't apply a stick foundation with a makeup sponge. My bad, I'm sorry. We all make mistakes, we're human, right? Mine just happened to be caught on camera. I don't use stick foundations, so this is all new to me. So for the stick foundations I'm going to be sharing with you today, I am going to be using a stippling brush to blend them into the skin. First drugstore stick foundations I am testing for you in this video are the one from NYX, and this is in the shade Fair, and the one from NYC, and this is in the shade Light. So this is the NYX one, and I'm using the Sedona Lace FB07 flat top brush to blend this into the skin. We will see. It does take a lot less effort, I will say, compared to using a makeup sponge, because with the other stick foundations it took a lot longer, I felt like, with that makeup sponge. Reason for that. Then after I blend it in, I'll look real closely here and let you know my thoughts. I can just tell you already, it's doing the same thing that the Hourglass foundation did, and this is a color match. It's sitting on top of the skin. It's not really blending in, and I have exfoliated my face before doing this, applied a moisturizer beforehand, and it just looks like it's accentuating patches around my face. Can you see that right there? Ugh. So it's making me look like I have dry skin, even though I don't. I ain't so happy with that one. All right, let's try the NYC one on this side. It's a lot creamier than the NYX one. I typically don't go for stick foundations personally. To each her own. You know, liquid foundations are really my go-to favorite. Sometimes a cream, but I don't ever reach for sticks, to be honest. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna give you an unbiased review, because I absolutely am. That one did not blend in any better than the NYX side. I'll come in closely here so you can see what I'm talking about. See all the patchiness on my face right there? Ugh. Now if you stand way back from the mirror, I mean way back from the mirror, it looks good. But then when you get really close up, it looks like a big old mess. I'm gonna test out the formula anyway. So I'm applying a concealer. This is the Maybelline Fit Me, and I'm lightly setting the face with the Steely Style Beautifully Matte Translucent Powder. Now after wearing both of these stick foundations, they broke down at about the 4-hour mark. That was when I started to notice noticeable shine breakthrough, and it just got worse after that point. What is interesting to note though is that after wearing both sides all day long, the NYC side, if you look closely at it, doesn't look anywhere near as cakey as it did when I first applied it. Whereas on the NYX side, it still looks cakey around the nose like it did when I first applied it, and somewhat on the cheek over here. I found that interesting. I just wanted to mention it. And I'll come in closer so you can see what I'm talking about here. Hi! Day 2 of testing out drugstore stick foundations. As promised, I'm showing you the Revlon Photo Ready Instafix and the Maybelline Fit Me Stick Foundation, which this one is interesting because it has a primer core. You see that little spot in the center there? That is supposed to help keep the face shine free throughout the day. So we will see. The Maybelline one says that it is for combination skin, according to the package. And Revlon has always been one of those drugstore brands that has worked for my oily skin. Here's hoping. So I'll apply the Maybelline on this side today. I'm using a denser brush than what I used yesterday. We'll see if that makes a difference. This is the Sigma F80 Flat Kabuki. And after I'm done with this testing day, I'm also going to go back and try the NYX and the NYC stick foundations again with this brush, just applying them. And I want to see if the denser brush makes a difference in the application or not. Now, just like in yesterday's video, I did exfoliate and moisturize my face this morning before applying these stick foundations. And the Maybelline one applied much better than, say, the NYX one from yesterday. And if you look closely around my nose, there's still some stuff hanging out here that I don't really care for, but it's not anywhere near as bad as the NYX one was. And I like the coverage much better too. This is more of a flawless skin finish, whereas the NYX one I felt like was sitting on top of my skin. Did you get that impression too? So far so good. I like the Maybelline. Let's hope it holds up throughout the day. And applying the Revlon on this side of my face. And blending it in with that dense brush. I almost really feel like the brush is what makes the difference too. You have to find the right brush with these stick foundations. Okay, I'm liking the coverage with the Revlon one and the finish that it gives you at the end. It's very flawless looking. I don't have any weird stuff hanging around my nose with this one, thankfully. I like it so far. Oh, and just so you know, before I applied those stick foundations, I did apply the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, same one I used in yesterday's demo. And I'm also going to set the face with the same powder I used yesterday, and that is the Steely Style Beautifully Matte. And for the check-in with the Revlon and Maybelline Fit Me. Didn't really hold up for us oily skinned peoples out there, but I would like to note that it didn't move around the face, didn't break down, and it doesn't look cakey by the end of the day. Quite a change from the NYX and the NYC ones that I reviewed yesterday. Yeah, you can see that shine. Whoo, glowy. And I'll come in a little closer so you can see the up-close texture of the skin. You can see everything blended in nicely, no cakiness whatsoever. So in terms of the formula with the Maybelline and Revlon foundation sticks, really happy with those. They don't look like they're sitting on top of the skin, they blended in. Just from an oily gal perspective, they didn't hold up, of course, to that. Everything else, though, checked out beautifully with these two. Sadly, even with using a denser brush, the NYX side and the NYC side did not apply any better, unfortunately. If you look closely here, you can see the NYX stick foundation is still sitting on top of my skin like it did the first time that I applied it. It didn't really blend in. And on the NYC side, it still looks funky around the nose, and it's just not blending into the skin. Final thoughts. For all of my oily friends out there, I don't feel like foundation sticks are the right match for us. So I would say if you have an oily complexion, skip these altogether and look for something different. And I'll have some liquid foundation recommendations for you listed below that are excellent for oily skin that I have tested out in past videos. But if you have dry combination skin, I would highly recommend looking at the Maybelline and the Revlon stick foundations because I did like the performance with those. They blended into the skin nicely. They did not sit on top of the skin. And overall, I'm pretty happy with the consistency of each of those. I do not recommend the ones from NYC or NYX simply because they made the dry patches on my face much more visible, even though I had exfoliated, and the NYX one in particular just sat on top of my skin. So I was not happy with either of these. Let me know if you've tried out any of these stick foundations or if you found one from the drugstore I didn't mention today that has worked beautifully for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again next week.